What's going on, guys? My name is the Gaming Scotsman, and in today's video I have another 1.6 public test server build, well, not another build actually, but I have another 1.6 public test server video for you guys, and what we're looking at today is actually one of the stronger builds I've used during my time in the PTS. Obviously Seeker's been changed since week 1, so it's no longer as top dog as it used to be, so I decided that I would go over and take a look at how an exotic build would work out, and this is what I've come up with so far. So as you can see, I'm running every single piece of exotic gear in the game other than the Ninja Bike Messenger bag. Instead, I'm using a specialized backpack there because of that bonus skill power, which is going to be incredibly important in Update 1.6 with the changes being made to how skill power is calculated and how effectiveness your skills are based on the amount that you have. So as you can see, I'm running Barrett's Vest, Joe Farrow's Mask, Short Bow knee pads, Colonel Bliss's holster, and Skull's MC gloves. Now, the reason that I'm actually running some of these pieces is because Joe Farrow's Mask, within Last Stand at the minute, there's a lot of use of Seeker Mines and Flame Turrets, and this is going to catch you on fire, so having Joe Farrow's Mask is kind of a must right now in Last Stand. Obviously this may change, they may change things and it might not be as useful, but then you can switch it for like a Tenacious Mask or something and then get that extra 10% damage. But right now it's really important that you get hold of one of these if you plan on doing Last Stand, because everybody decides to use Seeker Mines and Flame Turrets, and this will really help you get an advantage on your enemies, especially if they don't have it and they end up catching themselves on fire with Flame Turret, even Seeker Mines, you know. This will help provide an upper hand. Up next we have the Short Bow knee pads, and the reason I've chosen these is also because you have grenades, and everybody likes to use grenades a lot within Last Stand because it's very close quarters. Colonel Bliss's holster can be changed, but I just have it there because sometimes I do use my pistol, so I build up the stacks and it can have more damage through that. Skull's MC obviously give you an extra 16% bonus damage, along with assault rifle damage or whatever weapon you want to pair it with. You know, it's quite a viable one because it will give a ton of extra damage. All my mods here are either firearms or stamina, and I believe all my performance mods are self-heal to help boost my first aid. Now, on all of my actual main stat mods, they have critical hit chance because health isn't going to be as useful in Update 1.6 as armor and health are in the current game. So I have gone with critical hit chance right now because I feel like that's more viable in PvE and PvP within Last Stand, of course. I really enjoy that. The weapons I'm using a Liberator paired with Centurion. I'm mainly using the Liberator, but then for those people who are currently spamming Historian, I do have one of my own to sort of combat that as well. The role I have is Harmful, Accurate, and then of course History Repeats. And on this Liberator I have Brutal, Deadly, and Destructive. Now the reason that I'm running Destructive, obviously pairing that with Assault Rifle, that's like a ton of enemy armor damage right there. And then I also have enemy armor damage rolled into a couple pieces of gear. I actually have it on my bulletproof vest. I have it on my mask. I don't have it on my my championship pads. I actually have health on there, but I may change it out at a later stage. And I have critical hit damage on my specialized backpack, health on kill, assault rifle damage, and critical hit damage on Skull's MC. And then last but not least, I have reload speed on Colonel Bliss's holster, which I feel is a must, because then that really helps prevent downtime of your weapons while you are reloading. So it's a really nice build overall. Here you can see I have a 17.5% chance to critical hit, an 83% crit hit damage, 112% headshot damage. My enemy armor damage is a solid 50% extra, which is really nice. And the skills I'm running, I am running Seeker Mines because they are kind of the meta within 1.6 right now, and a first aid with booster shot because I still get a pretty nice heal out of it when I have all of my mods focused, but I do tend to run overdose as well. The talents I'm running are obviously combat critical save because it's still pretty decent in 1.6. It's not as good as it used to be, of course, and I'm also running steady hands for that extra stability, along with precision because it's like a mini pulse when you headshot someone, and then last but not least one is none to help keep ammo stocked up when you hit headshots. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run this through Lexington Event Center for them, or like most of it anyway, just so you guys can get a feel for how the build works and how squishy I am. I've used this in Last Stand where of course everything's normalized and balanced, but even in PvE it shreds, as you can see here. So we're still hitting about 17,000 on the body. Now that might not sound like much to some people who aren't playing the PTS, but the way everything scales in 1.6 is because there's no more armor mitigation in the same way that there is in 1.5. Obviously there's no main stat armor rolls anymore. the base damage of your weapons and also of NPCs has been lowered to help keep time to kill and time to be killed in balance with what it currently is within 1.5 and obviously what was changed in 1.4. But regardless, it's a really enjoyable set, and I would definitely recommend to anybody right now to pick up the Liberator and the Centurion as they work really well together. As you can see, I could hit a pretty strong headshot here. That was a crit as well. It was over 100,000 to the head. It's a very, very nice set of weapons to use, and then I actually, if I get a kill with the Centurion, which I will try to do. The guy's right, I can't even fight, my aim's terrible. Now I will have an increased rate of fire on my Liberator for a couple seconds, which obviously does help your DPS as well. So I will quickly throw out Seeker Mines as well. And as you'll see, I'll probably catch myself on fire, but I'm still able to attack back thanks to Joe Farrow's mask. So the reason I did this was because I was testing out a couple different builds within 1.6 and I really wasn't too sure what to go with, but then I decided that because there's exotic caches that we could all obtain for free right now, that we should really be taking a look at how effective they are. And I'm actually really enjoying running an exotic build more than anything else at this point. Seeker was enjoyable, but at the same time it was incredibly overpowered. Now it's sort of been changed, so it's 2 body shots that will equal to a 200% headshot, which is really nice, really enjoyable. Feels a lot more balanced and obviously promotes people to have a more accurate aim when going for the head. So obviously that's been changed. I will probably take a look at it later on in the PTS, but right now I've been really enjoying this exotic build. Obviously this isn't sort of like me saying this is going to be the best 1.6 build or this is the best go-to build right now, you know. What I'm saying is that right now in the current state of the game this is a very viable option for 1.6. And obviously things can change, things may get buffed, things may get nerfed, so obviously be sure to keep an eye out for that. Obviously stat rolls as well may vary at the same time, like the mods, like talents you get on your weapon. And within Last Stand, remember, so far everything is normalized, so if you have, no matter what your gear piece is, it'll be scaled to 256, and the max roll on the main stat, which is 1272, will be automatically put on for you. So if you have a firearms backpack and it's like 1180, then when you go to Last Stand it will be normalized to 1272 just to help keep balance within the game. Now one thing I should note is that you are a little bit more squishy with this build because you're sacrificing health in a couple places, but at the same time you really don't notice it the same. I still feel like I'm quite a tanky player, but like I couldn't do massive face tanking, but I could do enough to sort of keep me on my toes. Like as you can see there, they still do a fair amount of damage, but I can keep my own. And then of course I've got health on kill, which is a really useful talent to have in your gear slots, i.e. like your gloves and stuff. But I mean, I personally want to move it from my gloves so that I can have critical hit chance as well, because then it's sort of maximizing the amount of crit hit chance you can have. Obviously if you want as well you could put Fierce on your weapon in that bottom slot, or even if you're still running Alpha Bridge, then it'll give it to you for free for an extra 5% critical hit damage there. Critical hit chance even, my bad. But as you're seeing, the build is quite effective. So we've got Barrett's Bulletproof Vest as well, so the bonuses of that, obviously you pop one skill, 5% bonus damage, and obviously that first skill also had a 10% extra on its skill power. And then obviously lastly you get that 10% armor mitigation, which is going to be really important in update 1.6, given now that armor is no longer a main stat. And just to show you guys how much health I have about 209,000, and even when I had health rolled in most places it was only really around 230,000. So you don't really notice a massive difference, but I feel like that's really fair and balanced. Obviously if you want you could still go for an extremely tanky build, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. If you want to be like full out tank support or whatever, you know, it's completely up to you. There's nothing stopping you. It's still viable within 1.6. I am hoping to try and get a Reclaimer build out for you guys in the near future, but I'm just needing to actually get the Reclaimer set in itself, because I have a pretty good idea that running that with Caduceus will be really strong for a support build. And then if you pair it with something like the Tenebrae as well, that'll be quite nice. But like I say guys, exotic builds are kind of back. The only reason I'm not running the Ninja Bike Messenger Bag is because of the changes that have been made to skill power. It is a much more important thing to have in your builds now. because the way that things scale with skill power is different as to how it used to be. It works like armor. Once armor was changed to 1.4, so you have to go through different world tiers, and you have to get more armor to reach the same mitigation you were in your current world tier. Like say last time you had like 20% armor mitigation with 1,000 armor points. Well, say in world tier 2, you know, you needed like 2,000 to get to what you had to 5,000. Just sort of, it scales with your world tier now, and things are seeing a hit from it, which is why all my performance mods are first aid self heal. Obviously pairing that with overdose as well would be the perfect combination. But I will still try booster shot to see how useful it is. It's still pretty viable. Obviously with this build, obviously you're not going to have as much health as someone else might. Now the only reason, well not the only reason, but one of the reasons that I don't really worry about health too much within Last Stand as well is because of the enemy armor damage. Obviously enemy armor damage is still a thing that happens within PvP, so the more enemy armor damage I feel you have, the more it feels like you're going to be able to shred through your enemies within Last Stand, no matter how much health they have. Obviously it's still going to be harder for someone who has a lot more health, you know. Like if you're going up against a tank, you're still going to have a bit of trading there. But at the same time, it is still a very good option to use. And I believe you can also roll critical hit chance on your holster as well, but I personally do prefer reload speed for that decreased downtime on your weaponry. And obviously if you pair that with something like Swift and then say a hand stop on your underbarrel, if it's like an assault rifle or something, then that can be up to 80% downtime reduced. Like you can have 80% reload speed increase, which I feel like is insane. So as you can see, we're at the main hall already, and that's my medical link working perfectly for you guys there. There has been some issues with that within the PTS. As you guys saw, my medical link was full, but for some reason it didn't proc on death. I don't know if that's just an issue with the PTS or if that's actually a bug that's happening that will end up in the live game. I really don't think it'll end up in the live game anyway, so if it's a genuine bug or if it's just a PTS issue, it will get fixed regardless. So we'll try that again, a little bit more successful this time. As you can see, we are making short work of these Riker heavies, and as you guys know, these guys have a lot of health, so going through them like this is quite nice and quite easy. I do really enjoy this build a lot. I can definitely see myself farming for this stuff within 1.6, and obviously now that we have exotic caches in update 1.6 from things like legendary missions, it will be a lot easier to come across these pieces of gear. And just a quick sort of service announcement: if you are playing the main game right now, remember that you can purchase Liberator and Centurion in the base of operations. So if you haven't yet, I would definitely recommend doing that, because they are good weapons. I know right now they have fixed talents, but they've said that for 1.6 they will be rerolled to random talents. As you can see, that's Barrett down already. So in 1.6 they will be rerolled to random talents, so you don't have to worry about sort of having a bad rolled Liberator for going into 1.6. I mean, you might still get a poor roll, which would be unfortunate, but they are being randomly rolled to different talents when the update drops. And that goes for every exotic weapon within the game, I believe, so even if you have like a god rolled one right now, sorry, but it will be getting re-rolled. That's just, I suppose, to sort of try and help keep balance of the game. So you can kind of see why they've done it, but as you can see, that is the mission complete already. We kind of went through that really easy and really quickly, other than that one sort of death. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to leave a like. Let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the build as well. And real quick, if you haven't yet, please do hit the subscribe button. We are incredibly close to 2,000 subs, and I really can't believe that. Honestly, it blows my mind. And if you are subscribed, then don't forget to click the little bell next to my name so that you get notified every time I upload a video. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace out.